Chapter 7, Sound Effects.
You know, those different sounds created just by room acoustics alone remind me of something I want to know a lot more about. Sound effects.
Well, I'm glad you do, Bob, because that subject is a favorite hobby with me. Look, I have a whole drawer full of gadgets for making noises. Remember several years ago when radio was in its heyday? The sound effects man was quite an important guy then. Granted, he had a record library with a lot of sounds, but it wasn't that easy. Many of the time, he had to come up with a sound that wasn't on record. That is why he turned experimenter and inventor and came up with some unlikely props to create the sounds that he needed. It's just as interesting today.
Isn't making a tape recording, in effect, producing a radio program, except that we put it on tape rather than broadcasting it?
That's an excellent way of looking at it, Bob. People who produce their tape recordings, rather than just letting them happen, are the ones who come up with fine professional results. As you advance into the hobby of tape recording, you might want to buy some different sound effects records. Lots of them are available with about every sound imaginable. But homemade sound effects are a lot more fun, I think. Let's try some of these homemade ones of mine, shall we? What I've done is to build up my own sound effects library right on tape. Now, here are a few sound effects that will get you off to a flying start. Ever see a good Western that wasn't peppered with Colt 45 shots? Well, here's how you do it. Slap the seat of a leather chair or cushion with a strap or a leather belt, like this. If you have a kiddie Western and want cap pistols, slap the leather strap on a solid wood surface, like a table. But a word of caution. Don't make the mistake that one enthusiastic sound man made. He fired 8 shots from a 6-shooter. Now, suppose you want the sound of bacon frying on an open fire. Crumple a piece of cellophane loosely in your hands. The one on your cigarette pack is good. As you want the sound to fade away, just move the cellophane away from the mic, like this. And was there ever a Western without horses? We'll just gallop him right up to our mic by slapping our chest with our palms like this. For the same thing with a slightly different effect, try 2 small box lids about 2 inches square and as deep. Slap your chest with the open ends of the lids, and you can change this effect too by slapping the tops of the lids with your index fingers as the lids hit your chest. Now, hand me these 2 rubber plungers.
You don't mean these plumber's helpers. They're used for opening drains.
Those are going to be our plodding horses, Bob. Listen to the sound they make when I knock them together near the mic. If you don't have a couple of plungers around, try 2 coconut shell halves instead. Listen.
Now I've seen everything. A box of dried peas?
You wouldn't think you could get rain out of anything as dry as those peas, would you? Hand me that metal pan there a second, would you? We're going to roll the dry peas around in this pan, and it's going to sound just like heavy rain. If we want a seafaring saga, complete with ocean waves, just tilt the pan back and forth in time with an imaginary surf, like this. Now listen to the effect as I shake this sheet of roofing tin in front of the mic.
Say, you're whipping up a real storm. That sounded exactly like thunder.
Yeah, now wait till you hear this one. Now you roll the peas on the metal pan, and I'll shake the roofing tin and make some wind by whistling through my teeth. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hey, that's great. Sounds like a night that even poor little Nell shouldn't be out in.
It ain't a fit night out for man or beast. Yeah, you're getting the idea, Bob. You can write a dashing Western or an old-fashioned melodrama complete with villain and have lots of fun adding your own sound effects. These are ideal for parties because your guests can be the actors. Don't worry about being corny. It only makes it more fun.